Can I add here that I have the people at Mysterious Galaxy asked me to tell you all that they have signed copies of the books at their booth, which is 1119. So that was my public address. Yes, it depends on which book, of course, because I think Dead Until Dark is in the 15th printing.
The writing staff, the directorial staff from 6 Feet Under be crossing over into the show, or is it all fresh blood, so to speak?
Two of the writers, myself and Nancy Oliver, are from 6 Feet Under. Dan Minahan directed one episode. We went after a couple of the other directors, but they were busy. So yes, but at the same time, there is, I would say there was more fresh blood than old blood.
Alan, where are you in production, by the way? Where are you? Are you
We have 3 days of shooting in Shreveport, and we will be wrapped for the season.
This was entirely on location, correct?
I'm sorry?
It was entirely on location?
No, it's mostly in Los Angeles. Our studios are in Los Angeles, but we do have some hero locations in Shreveport.
Okay, next question. Maybe the mic, please.
This is for Ms. Harris. Having gone in, as you see in the preview, a slightly different direction of tone for the series as we're going with the book series, what cautions or encouragements might you give readers, fans of the book series about this TV show?
Oh, wow. Well, I definitely think the series will improve if you buy the books.
Nice.
Of course, my version is going to be different from Alan's. He's got a different medium to work with, and he's got different demands than I had when I'm writing the books. I have the luxury of sitting around thinking about them for a few months before. Well, no, I don't. But I had the luxury of establishing the world myself. And I can tell everything from the first person point of view, which is not something that can really be done in series television. So the books are going to be different. They are different in tone, and they come from a different viewpoint. So they're not the same experience, but I think they're both very good experiences.
Alan, this is probably a good time to ask. I mean, if TV fans today, and especially fans of books, are such a passionate bunch, and if they agree or disagree with something, they will make their feelings known via the internet. How do you feel about fan interaction? Do you pay attention to it? Do you let it influence what you write? And how much of a say will you give them in the show?
Like I said before, I feel a certain responsibility to be very true to the books, and even when I'm not being true to the exact plot of the books, to be very true to the spirit of the books. Beyond that, I don't really have time to go online and read what everybody thinks, and I don't really feel like it's my job to do a show based on the feedback I'm getting from passionate fans. I'm going to try very, very hard to be very true to Charlaine's vision, but ultimately, I have found in my career that the work that I do is most successful when I do something that I myself would respond to, rather than trying to figure out what other people are going to respond to. I take Charlaine's fan base incredibly seriously, and I hope that they will be big fans of the books. We are remaining very, very true to the books, but I'm not going to be one of those executive producers who goes online and reads, oh, I hate the way they're dressing her, and then go change that. My job is hard enough already, and there's only so many hours in a day. So that's just my way of saying, I believe I understand from the books themselves what Charlaine was trying to do, what that world is, and I am extremely committed to bringing that vision to the TV screen as intact as possible. But there's a certain point where you have to realize a book and a TV show are two different things. But I'm not going to make changes just to make changes, because frankly, Charlaine's books are really good and the stories really work. If I feel like that wasn't the case, I would probably make a lot more changes.
Next question.
She's done all the heavy lifting, and I'm very fortunate for that. I just have to sort of, point a camera at it.
Go ahead.
You're forcing me to get HBO. I was wondering, for those of us who are very familiar with her books, without giving away what the season finale or ending's going to be, where are you going to finish with the first book in this season, or are you going to have to pull things in from the next book during this season?
Basically what we do is we tell the story of the first book over the first season. The identity of the person who is doing the terrible things is revealed, and then we are laying some groundwork for next season. But for the most part, season 1 is pretty much book 1.
Yeah, Charlaine, for example, I guess in the second book, she breaks up the United States into territories that are run by sheriffs. Will you follow that a little bit too?
The character of Eric is introduced in season 1, and we do find out that he is sheriff of Area 5.
Next question.
I just wanted to say I look up to you very much for your writing, and it just kind of gave a new frontier to vampires. And so thank you so much for that. And also, this is a question for the actors. I wanted to know what drew you to your characters, if you found similarities in yourself and them, or if there was just something so different that you wanted to conquer.
I love how strong Sophie is, and how tough and willing to put her life at risk for things that she believes in, and how inherently good she is, that she's a good person, and she has a good core value system, and it doesn't happen to include having a problem with vampires, and she's open-minded and curious and is interested in what else is out there, and I just think that's a really beautiful combination. She's really tough, and I like being blonde.
When I met Alan and Anna for this, I was blonde and she was dark. And so we've sort of done this switch. I obviously did research by interviewing a lot of 173-year-old people. By X. What I loved about Bill was there's a slight melancholy edge to him. But one of the things we talked about was no need for extraneous movement. He doesn't have a heartbeat. So I like the idea of making him really still and only needing to make a movement if it's absolutely necessary. So because without a heartbeat, he has no tics, he has no little movements that we all have as humans. He's still. And for me, that was a great thing to latch into, and we always find those people who have that kind of stillness intriguing and enigmatic, and I kind of wanted to make him have no need to be anything for anybody else other than himself. And that was great fun to kind of latch onto.